customer service and how it works for you. During this presentation, we will go over the many different ways we give and receive information with our customers. So what is customer service? By Oxford Dictionary definition, it is defined as the assistance and advice provided by a company to those people who buy or use its products or services. But let's dive deeper. What is customer service to you? What are the defining actions that gives good customer service? And what are the unmistakable actions that define bad customer service? How do you feel afterwards, both as the giver and the receiver of this communication? Communication with customers greatly affects the company's reputation and customer loyalty. Therefore, it is necessary to work on improving its quality. However, in any communication, there are misunderstandings. In the case of business, this is evident with damage to reputation and profits. According to research, 77% of consumers who have gained positive experiences interacting with the company will recommend it to a friend. But more than half of Americans will abandon their planned purchase if the service was poor, and another 33% will consider changing the company altogether if they received poor service. So what causes a customer to seek customer service to begin with? Let's take a look. Misinformation. Oftentimes, a customer relies heavily on word-of-mouth suggestions from other patrons who may be just as misinformed as them. Word-of-mouth information sharing is the oldest form of marketing in human history, so it's natural for a customer to rely on the words of their peers or even strangers for their initial source of information. Therefore, it is imperative that the business or industry service aim to control the public narrative and marketing as much as possible. Additionally, it is the responsibility of the customer service representative to understand this predicament of the patron and approach them with an unyielding care for their realignment with proper facts regarding the entity you represent. Clarification. Sometimes a consumer will seek information from a proper source, and once again they will double check with multiple sources. This is to be expected, especially in service industries such as medical care and education. Think of this as a customer seeking clarity to remove any anxiety they may feel. Lack of understanding. In many cases, a patron can be presented with the proper information regarding your product or service, yet they will still have an unclear interpretation of the facts that were presented to them. This is a natural phenomenon and is not to be ridiculed or reacted to in a negative way. Factors that play a major role in this lack of understanding are the following. Sometimes, a customer can be naive or simply foreign to the processes of the business you represent. Sometimes the person seeking help simply isn't accustomed to your service rendered. They may have a complete lack of knowledge with the product or processes involved with using your service. We should approach certain customers with that same understanding. The most common way to interject your customer services would be to initially ask key questions to the patron. How can I help you? Have you had any experience with our products or services before? And what are your concerns regarding our business? These 3 simple questions can help formulate your next course of action when rendering great customer service at a high level. Lack of active listening. In today's world, people get a huge amount of information. At any specific time, a consumer may be receiving multiple forms of distraction, such as their television, social media, transportation, or other human interactions, and many others. This is bad for mindfulness. Unfortunately, this is also true for customer service reps. So it is imperative that the customer service professional keep distractions at a minimum whenever possible. This will help the development of active listening skills for both the giver and receiver of the information provided. This will teach you to focus on the words of the patron. Furthermore, if the person in need of your customer service realizes that you have their undivided attention, they will be more adept at returning the favor to you. So what causes bad customer service? Disagreements and overall bad vibes are sometimes unavoidable. This is human nature. Nobody is perfect, and oftentimes outside situations that have nothing to do with you or the business you represent can cause a complete breakdown in communication. Let's take a look at some of the triggers of bad service. You may be surprised of the role that both the customer and service professional play in this circumstance. Customers. As previously mentioned, the customer may enter the interaction with misinformation from an unreliable source. This creates an assumption of your product or service that may be negative to begin with. As a result, the customer may exude an anticipation of discontent and overall dissatisfaction before you have ample time to ask them key questions to alleviate their concerns. This eventually can lead to a negative attitude with their overall experience with the customer service representative. This situation can most readily be diffused if you maintain a calm demeanor and even vocal tone. If you allow yourself to become just as erratic as the disgruntled customer, you can assure yourself that the interaction will become more volatile. Service professional. As a service professional, we must be exactly that, professional. A clear distinction must be made that separates us from the word-of-mouth advice that a lot of patrons will adhere to first. As a professional, you must educate yourself to have the answers to many of the questions that a patron may have. A customer in need of service depends on you for proper information regarding your business. If they see that you are just as misinformed as them, they will resent your mediation. So be prepared as best you can. Educate yourself accordingly. We must also never make the assumption that a customer should already know certain things regarding our business or service. These assumptions will subconsciously cause a negative aura in your actions, words, and vocal tone. This will lead to the patron feeling as if you have an attitude of aggravation towards them. They will in turn pick up on this emotion and respond with the same aggravation or worse. So it is imperative that we as customer service professionals administer patience at all costs. That is what truly separates you from the rest of the information sources available to a customer. Review. Number 1. Bad customer service leads to reduced revenue and overall loss of business morale. Number 2. Customers usually seek the professional help of service representatives after they have tried other methods. Anticipate this. Number 3. There are many reasons why a customer misunderstands the information given. Be patient. And number 4. Maintaining a calm demeanor and professional attitude will de-escalate most volatile situations. Be aware. Thank you for your time.